Hello, class here, Book of Demons. In the last part, we got the Amulet of Life, and I think also a card slot. Oh yeah, and I didn't do town stuff at the end, because the quest ran long.
When I was still a young monk, we used to jest that dull brothers excel in copying holy texts, and those with any wit left became master brewers. It does not sound very amusing now, but it would bring us to tears back then. Monastic life can be very monotonous, you see. Regardless, potion brewing was our specialty. It required hours of prayer and meditation. Nowadays, even a barmaid can procure a potent mixture with one hand while stuffing a turkey with the other. And the magical cards allow you to use objects that you don't even have to carry.
Mm-hmm.
You might think that as a man devoted to matters of the spirit, I may object to the methods of the fortune teller. Normally this would be true, but in such dire times, when darkness threatens the light, we need all to use their talents to oppose evil. I believe her gifts are a godsend.
Alright. That was it for his gossip.
Here's a riddle. What has hairy legs, bulging eyes, and smells worse than the feet of a sorcerer's apprentice? No, it's not the fortune teller, my child, although I admit I find the dungeon arachnids just as vicious. Their olfactory receptors are very sensitive, so I'm guessing they were drawn out by the reek of death permeating the dungeons. Not unlike the creatures I met in my travels through the Spider Pass. They're hunters who ambush and immobilize their victims with secretions from their... Well, you get my point.
Do I, though? I guess there are 10 types of spiders, and we've seen one of them.
Remember how when we were kids, we used to sneak into the cathedral and bother the monks in the scriptorium? Poor guys were completely helpless and couldn't even yell at us until they chased us outside. Those were happier times. But now, with all the evil creatures down there... Remember the Smith? People think he left because of the fortune teller. But I know the true story. You see, monsters snatched his wife and son and dragged them into the dungeons. He followed them and found a terrible place. A kitchen where demons cook human flesh for their master. Can you imagine seeing your loved ones prepared into a stew? Or even worse, black pudding? He managed to come back and tell us all about it, but his mind was unhinged by grief. The next night, he vanished for good.
Alright. Also, I acknowledge the achievement.
Do you remember how we used to play, lying in the grass, watching the clouds and guessing our future from their shapes? We saw many strange things, but I never suspected what fate had in store for us. Running an inn isn't that bad. At least, it wasn't until the dark rituals. Now, everyone's afraid of being eaten by some nasty creature. Some people even ponder suicide. And just look at our garden. We used to grow all sorts of vegetables and herbs, but now the soil is poisoned with dark magic, and demons trample everything with their hooves. But complaining doesn't make anything better. I still get a lot of help from the sage. He may be cranky at times, but he's always treated me like a daughter. Then there's the fortune teller. She's a fascinating woman, and I'm very lucky to learn from her. And now you're back.
Yep. Alright, how much gossip do we have left in the game? Still about half of it. See, I didn't want to buy the contents of the cauldron. We're already over 4 minutes in. Oh, right. We're forced to do a very small quest because you can't make a quest go past a boss fight. Or even into it. Boss fights are their own unique quests with fixed lengths. Game progress is already 23.5%. Okay, that was just telling me I could use item cards by holding my rice mouse button, yes. No, right mouse button. in the big cards panel, but I don't usually like pulling that up during combat for a variety of reasons. Oh, right, I don't have potions right now. That does have a heal on it. I'm dead. Died in my own fire. But yeah, that one nasty encounter that drained all our potions. I should have just refilled. I didn't think about that. My bad. Collect your tombstone to retrieve your lost goods. Each time you die, your lost goods will be moved to your new tombstone. Does not apply to casual mode. This is the first death of your character. You are no longer a daredevil. Your best death will be recorded in the first death leaderboard. Oh yeah, and our cauldron just lost a bunch of stuff. Prize is 0. We were so close to a gold prize. Could still buy the health and mana if I had money. That was a nasty start to a floor, though. Just a lot of stuff that leapt on me. Okay, we got our cards back. We got our money back. Don't get our cauldron contents back, though. Yeah, had this guy chucking projectiles. How many enemies did I fight at a time before I died? I guess just like in real Diablo, the worst thing is when you go down to a new floor. Oh, and a level up, now I actually have Death Rage. Which is, of course, a comeback mechanic for when you run out of health. Yeah, passive skill that triggers when you're about to die. It heals you and grants short-time immunity. Death Rage recharges each time you level up. Transforms you into orbs of electricity that hurl around, damaging enemies. Man, as a warrior, I never even triggered my Death Rage, I'm pretty sure. And there's a health potion again. Yeah, very tragic. I was greedy in not refilling my item, but I thought that we could sustain with our Amulet of Life. Just, you know, you need a safe spot to retreat. I guess I could have retreated to the stairs and just healed in town. But I kinda backed away from an enemy thinking I could kite, but there were just more enemies. Anyway, let's spend our level up. I guess, well, there are no prizes in the cauldron. It might be a good time to actually claim the stat points. So that I don't wait a long time again to get them. So yeah, let's go to town and do that.
You look like you could use a hot broth.
Alright, each time you collect prizes, the price of the cauldron increases. When the hero dies, unbought prizes are lost. But since we're on normal mode, the health and magic prizes are not lost. So we get 1 max health and 7 max mana. Okay, back to the dungeon. I guess the hourglass would have helped too. I had a lot of resources I could have used to help. But, you know, a bit rough as a warm-up to need to think of all those things. Alright, got a sun card, or rune, or whatever. Anyway, let's not dwell on dying. We're back in the dungeon, we're killing dudes, everything is as it ever was. Apparently got close enough to the shrine to notice it was there. less mana. Kinda wish you could disable auto attack. Because, you don't really want to auto-attack the guys with gold hearts. Yep. Didn't quite counter in time. That's pretty okay, though. That's less okay that he got to do the summon, but still mostly fine. I don't really need the health fountain. Let's check out the bookcase. New skills are fun. Oh, it's just a rune. I forgot the bookcases could give rune cards. Alright, so here's a gargoyle. Dang, they deal a lot of damage. What did I miss? A whopper. Is that an enemy name? Oh. Got him. Alright, I have potions. I'm not just gonna sit here for health. Oh. Magic card. I feel like I missed something. Like, I got a health scroll, right? Ah, gotta break that shield. This encounter has entirely health-based phases. Right, can't counter that. That's the boss transition skill. Ah, he was poisonous for a phase. Still is.
This is the part you explode.
Wow, 3 prizes from a single mid-boss? Is there some sort of catch-up mechanic for losing your prizes, or
Just what I was looking for.
am I just far enough in the game that they give you those? Boots protects you from negative effects on the ground. Right now it allows you to ignore electric shock damage, which could be nice if I level up my lightning spell or something. On higher levels, ignore spiderweb slow effects, clear path obstacles, and trample small spiders. I don't think it's worth a slot now. I don't have too many of those. Ancient Tome.
Boiling marrow, brewing blood. Take a peek and you'll go mad. Through the hellish kitchen's door, for the master still craves more. Underground where shines no sun, this cook's work is never done. Among screams he toils with haste, creature of most subtle taste. Cuts and chops, both bone and gut, be it sinew, be it fat. Not an ounce of flesh he'll shun. This cook's work is never done.
Alright, the boss intro for the cook.
Not exactly Alexandrine first form, but still pretty good. For a demon.
Yeah. Alright, counter that. Kinda wish you had to be a little closer to enemies before they would start their spells, but you can still usually counter them in time. Although if there are other enemies in the middle, they might prevent you from doing it. I guess part of the challenge is that enemies have spells that they occasionally get to finish. It's not like enemies doing things is inherently unfair. I wonder if I right-click on the shield and fireball it, if this shield actually breaks faster. Alright. I think it just says blocked until I run out of fireballs. Another upgrader rune. Alright, one item missed. Oh, I have to interact with the statue. Right. Level clear.
It's logical to assume this portal leads to the cook's lair. I'd better prepare myself.
Alright. Those were uber gargoyles. I've talked with villagers 50 times. That's what the achievement was for. Alright, yeah, let's get that card identified. Achievement unlocked. Getting better. What's that for? Clearly was not my best performance. Steam overlay works, right? I hit shift tab. Maybe I hit it at a bad time. Finish 25 games, okay.
When evil strikes you down in the dungeons, it takes a lot of my effort to deliver your soul from the clutches of darkness. Death always takes its toll, so any equipped cards remain at your grave, and so will grant you no aid until you retrieve them. Also, some ingredients collected in the arcane cauldron perish, as spells and elixir are mere tricks in the light of the divine.
I see.
Some things cannot be explained, they must be believed. Many scholars devoted their lives of prayer, hoping for illumination and understanding of the nature of the soul, but very few succeeded. In the scriptures, they usually compared spiritual links to threads of yarn being cut, and souls to little pots being broken. Then again, holy men are not very skilled when it comes to similes, as their virtue stems from other qualities.
Alright. Got it. Let's see, so what else do I want to do in town? Identify my card.
Listen for a while.
Oh, and a magic version of teleport. It's also healing. That's kind of funny. Let's try it over Cold Nova for a while. Now that they're both magic. And I feel like running in for a Cold Nova isn't something I often want to do. I guess it's something to do with when the enemies get to me on their own, but I don't know. I should at least try out both alternatives to enemies being up to you. Fireball is already a knockback too. So there's also a case to be made for, like, if something's knockback immune, Cold Nova's not even gonna do its job. Let's see, I can definitely think about card upgrades. I have plenty of upgrader
I can
cards.
see your future is very grim.
Upgrade Fireball for a single sun. What's it do? Has more charges, deals more damage, more chance to leave a fire on the ground on hit, costs more mana, lower cooldown. Seems good. What's it take to upgrade? Oh yeah, double death and a moon. So that's basically 5 moons. And this is basically 5 suns. Yeah, let's upgrade Fireball though. Alright. It takes double life and double any. Yeah. I mean, probably eventually worth it. I feel like I've sort of committed to the normal Fireball card over any, like, Magic or Legendary version. I feel like you often don't want to upgrade multiple branches of a single card. I could be wrong there, but... I could even upgrade my Teleport to deal more damage. In this case, I would be upgrading the magical version, which costs an extra any rune over the normal card. Let's do it. Okay, I can double click. I knew there was a way to not drag the card over. And we can skip that. I'm not using mana potions. I'm also not running out of mana. Upgrading health potions, though, might be a good investment. Lets you hold more. We'll be massively over-healing, but... I kind of want the upgrade for the capacity. Because, running out of healing potions can be bad. Alright, now I'm pretty low on upgraders, and I'd rather hold them. Yeah, I would have a lot more if I'd been able to buy the cauldron once it filled up. Anyway, I don't think I'm gonna try to fit the boss fight in here. I forget if it even... Yeah, estimated playtime 13 minutes, 20 seconds, and we know it'll take me longer than that. But that'll happen next time, and hopefully we won't die. See ya!